Today, Friday, the 5th of September 2014, we out here in front of the Chief Justice Office, the Supreme Court, and we want to speak to some of the protesters out here, peaceful protesters, and is basically protesting about the decision last week Friday of the acting Chief Justice Ian Chang in relation to the council, the City Council of Georgetown, sending one of the officers on administrative leave, and that's the town clerk acting Carol Silver was sent on administrative leave, and we understand that last Friday the Chief Justice acting Ian Chang had put a stay on that and rule in the favor of the acting town clerk Silver. So we're going to speak to His Lordship the Mayor Hampton Green and councillors and concerned citizens that are out there protesting peacefully against this ruling of the acting Chief Justice Ian Chang. So we're going to speak with the Mayor of the City of Georgetown. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, my brother. What we're doing is to bring to the public's attention a very dangerous dissent and the potential destruction of our democracy. In a country, there are three elements that, if they are operated with integrity, secure the fabric of a society: the judiciary, the executive, and the parliament. We've seen where the government is attempting to use the judiciary to make the parliament almost meaningless. That's a complete negation of the principles and the foundation of democracy. As my good friend Jai Paul said a moment ago, we've had strange rulings, and in some cases no rulings from the judiciary. So to whom should we appeal? We have in place an unqualified, incompetent, disrespectful person imposed by the government that only represent 27% of those who voted at the last local government elections. So you have the absurd situation, 20%, 27% ruling 73%. And this here is supported by a drift towards a police state. Last week, we passed a motion requiring Sober to go on administrative leave to deal with 4 matters of corruption. 1, where she spent $500,000 illegally. 2, spent $407,000 to buy a sofa without permission, spending millions of dollars to pay one solid waste contractor, even though we asked that this matter be put to tender. And the last one that we brought to the attention of the CID was where between she and the minister, they waived $27 million from a private person. A group of councillors, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Jordan, Ian Andrews and others, went in person to the Breakdown police station and we made a report. We were sent to the CID upstairs. The CID asked us to come down to City Hall to continue the investigations. A photographer and a corporal came. When they arrived, Sober locked the outer door of the town clerk's office. The policemen showed their ID. Nothing happened. After about 5-10 minutes, she came out with her cell phone and tells the police corporal to speak to his superiors. After that conversation, the policeman said he was instructed to abort the investigation and return to Brickdam. Now this is worse than a Nazi state, than potpol, and the worst of any dictatorship, where a group of citizens led by the mayor, not somebody who comes off the street and that should make no difference. Makes a report. And it is aborted at the Ipsy Dixit of an unqualified town clerk, along with her so-called bodyguard who had infested City Hall with criminals. The young man who is charged for the murder of the businessman, Travis McDougall, was one of Heinz's sidekicks at City Hall, which caused us to write the Chief Constable and the Commissioner of Police to express our alarm and concern. So you have a complete reversal by the police. They seem to be encouraging criminal elements at City Hall and at the same time refusing to conduct an investigation raised by us, even if our concerns were inaccurate. But we have photographic evidence of Heinz destroying the locks at City Hall. And then, I mean, what is happening? So we thought we'd take the streets, so we bring to the attention of the public this descent and destruction of democracy. And I hope that the people understand what is happening.
Okay, so you're saying that this individual, Travis, that was alleged that shot the Indo-Guyanese businessman, the gold mine, and his wife?
Yes,
and causing the loss of life of the miner? Right. You said he was here at City Hall?
He was part of Heinz's detail.
And what is the government's response? What is the government's response on this?
You understand, the nephew of Heinz, and then Heinz is a relative of Whitaker. So you see the triangle, the triumvirate.
This is the Bermuda Triangle. People get disappear in this triangle. We got to be careful, right? So I thank you, Lordship Mayor Hamilton Greed.
And we will the Commissioner of Police on this incident.
Mayor of Georgetown.
Had no reply.
And we're going to speak to other councillors out here. And we're going to establish, in relation to the councillors voting in the majority to send a town clerk acting off an administrative leave, in relation to the Municipal Council District Act 2801. So we're going to speak to those who are familiar with the various sections of 2801, and we're going to hear how this was applied in accordance with sending the town clerk acting on administrative leave. So, tell me about the application of 2801, the laws that govern the operation of the City Hall. So tell us about that and how it was applied in relation to the town clerk acting to send her off an administrative leave.
The 2801 is the law that governs the local government authorities, with inclusive of the city of Georgetown. It really gives us the kind of authority to manage the workers of the city council. We are the board of directors, more or less, and whenever we make decisions, it is covered in 2801, whereby officers need to respond immediately or leave, as we would say, for whatever reason. What we have found is that every time we try to implement the laws governed in 2801 that is stated there, this town clerk, acting de facto town clerk, runs to the court, and they either put a stay so that we cannot get to do our work. But what has brought the camel back is that while we are out here today, is that because of these occurrences or these negative things being done, especially by the Chief Justice Sunshine, it has emboldened this individual, after we would have sent her on leave along with the treasurer for certain financial improprieties that we need to investigate. She was bold enough to say she's not going home, and then again at our finance meeting, she attempted to hijack the meeting, even stating that a law had been passed in Parliament. She has a letter. She purported to be reading from a letter that states that all local democratic organs and regional democratic organs and city councils are dissolved. And as such, after Wednesday, when we would have had a finance meeting, no councillor, no meeting of the council will be held where councillors should attend, because everything has been dissolved. And she got up, asked the officers to leave. Only our secretary left with her. All the other officers sat, all the councillors, the quorum that we had, and other councillors. And we decided that we'll have a meeting. We had to make her understand that she is not our boss. She is somebody who ought not to have been in the building. But then we realized that every time we attempt to do the work of the business in the interest of its citizens and the development of Georgetown, there is some legal angle to it. So we are wondering if the judiciary has become a political arm. We wonder if they're no longer judiciary or if they're following somebody's political bidding. We're very concerned, and as you see out here today, councillors are here, concerned citizens, vendors. The city of Georgetown has responded.
Let us speak about the address that you alluded to that Carl Sober, Town Clerk Acton made to the Finance Committee meeting in relation to local authorities being dissolved. However, it was said by Carl Sober that that wasn't her remarks, was that Carl Sober, she is seeking advice, legal advice, if council shall be dissolved. So how a town clerk acting for this city going to speak about dissolving town council, city councils, and local government organs in the whole? Don't you think that's an outrageous
It's
statement?
outrageous because we are the political leaders.
No, but she's not just hitting the city hall, Georgetown, but the entire local government of Guyana.
I mean, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. We have noted that there are different strains of flu. We got chikungunya now. What we are seeing, there is a different strain of Homo sapien. We have never seen that kind of Homo sapien. We are all right. But where that came from, somebody has to tell us, but I don't think there are two of those on this planet.
Okay, let us speak to senior counsel here, and we're going to get his views and his placard read with in Chang, the local government service commission. Well, the question is being asked, as you know, the Constitution speaks about a local government service commission, and we want to know if the Chief Justice is that person. As you know, this is affected also central government and parliament, because whenever the opposition in parliament, this is the 10th parliament of Guyana, should do anything in the chambers, in the National Assembly, it is challenged by ministers, and this same individual who is the acting Chief Justice of Guyana would pronounce on matters. So people were saying if he's also the de facto president or something of that effect. So here is a possibility where he may be the local government service commission. So let me hear your views on this.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We were told by the courts that the local government service commission is in place, but it has not been peopled, but it is in place, and therefore the person who we were told carrying out the functions of the Minister of Local Government has got no authority to appoint someone in the form of Miss Carol Sober to reign over the duly elected mayor and city council. So, in fact, the court determined that she was illegal in that position. She was de facto, but yet still she has been allowed to reign over the mayor and city councillors as if she is the commission. We are fully aware of what 20:1 says, and we are also guided by what we were told in the courts. When we went to Kingston, to the High Court, and that was Miss, what's her name again, the judge, Janet Cummings. Janet Cummings stood up and ruled in the interest of the public and did not grant the request that was taken to her by Ms. Sober and the government, because at that session Nanda Lal appeared on behalf of the government, and that case, when eventually it was ruled on, they were denied what they were seeking. We are saying that the mayor and councillors of the city of Georgetown are the legal body to look into the affairs of this mayor and councillors. And therefore, we will not allow ourselves to be swept away by the political forces who themselves do not have control over the mayor and councillors of the city of Georgetown, but have implanted Carol Sober to do their dirty work. And that is what we are objecting to. We have sent her on leave, and she must go on leave. We will not acknowledge her as town clerk of the city of Georgetown. We will refuse to carry out any of the wishes of Carol Sober. We are the legally implanted body to carry out the wishes of the city and councillors of Georgetown. And we maintain that. And that is why this picket, and we shall continue, and we shall move into other areas of defiance, because we have the right to reign as the mayor and councillors of this city.
Now tell me, you made a mention earlier in your statement, in your opening statement, that it was said to you that the commission is in place. Who said the commission is in place?
Mr. Ian Chan, in his judgment, in his ruling, said the commission was in place ever since, but it was not people.
Well, we know that there's a number of commissions. You know the constitution for the Teacher Service Commission, Public Service Commission, Judicial Service Commission, and so forth. A commission has to be appointed. It's catered for in the law.
Yes.
But it cannot be active. It's not implementable because there is no individuals that are appointed to the position of members of the commission.
Yes.
So I don't think that is something that is possible to state that. What is the word you use?
The commission is in place
Right.
at the city
In
council.
relation to the commission being in place.
Yes.
It's provided for in the laws.
Yes.
In the Constitution.
Yes.
And you made mention to the right that you have under Chapter 2801, Mr. Council District. But let me tell you, being a former member of Parliament, looking at the articles of the Constitution, one of the striking resemblance to 2801 in relation to the council authority over its officer. I could recall that in Article 58, Article 158 of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana states that the President can remove the Clerk of the National Assembly if, I said only if the National Assembly by resolution majority, okay, say that the Clerk of the National Assembly shall be removed because of misbehavior.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you could remove an important person like that from the Parliament, the highest forum in the country, this is a forum in the country, and that's the clerk. The President wants to remove him. The President cannot touch him if the National Assembly, by majority vote, which is a simple majority, don't want him to be removed, or if the members in the National Assembly want him or her as clerk of the National Assembly to be removed. It's important. So here, at the highest decision forum, the Constitution is saying the members of the National Assembly have the authority to remove the clerk of the National Assembly, who is similar position like so who is also your clerk of the council. So if you could do that to the clerk of the National Assembly, why you cannot do this to, why council couldn't take a decision which it did? Not only before to have a no confidence, which is similar to Article 158 of the Constitution, but also because the court did not say, the court of ministers did not say you can't send her home, you can't put a no confidence. The council decided to go on a more what you may say formal way and say that she was going administratively. So the no confidence is put aside, okay? Because they may be too serious. As you know, the local government minister and the code system say that can't happen. But I give you evidence. Article 158 say you could send home the clerk of the National Assembly, but apparently you can't send home the acting town clerk. You can't have no confidence. In Region 8, the councillors put no confidence in the area there. Same situation was not respected by the Minister of Local Government, Whitaker, and the former local government minister, Ganga. It was not respected. And here we have the same situation where the city council here put no confidence, was not respected by the minister, not respected by the court, and they now go to a more formal situation where they're going to send her administrative leave.
Randall Jordan made a point a moment ago. Because sober, because of her attitude, her proclivities, etc., is doing the dirty work of the government, who only got 27% of the votes in Georgetown. And it's a complete destruction and fracture of the principles of democracy. They've not allowed since 1994 the 73% to run the city. And that is the essence, that is the gravamen of our concern. Democracy suggests majority rule. So you have 27% using a maverick person to run the city. A complete absurdity, unacceptable. Nobody can believe this will be happening in the 21st century. What's happening in Guyana?
We're satisfied that this nonsense must stop.
Oh yes.
And we're calling on the citizens of Georgetown to join with us in the steps that we will take to ensure that a body corporate, the mayor and councils of the city of Georgetown, must be allowed to carry out its mandate.
But I'm thinking, okay, so we also have, besides councillors, we have other persons that will be part of this peaceful protest. We have one such individual, and you know him, a very vocal individual, and you know him as Cesar. He was also the personal assistant to the former president of this country, Barjaglio. So let us hear your view.
Yes, one of the reasons I departed is because of the behavior of this government. Not only corruption, but in terms they have become a power drum. But in examining the particular issue, I'm not a lawyer, but I would think from my examination there's a hole in the legislation. I think there were some clauses removed that should have been replaced, and I think the last set of legislation took care of those clauses, but it's sitting on the president's desk. But put everything aside. If the minister cannot make a decision, and you're saying the law, the town council can't make a decision, to my mind, necessity intervenes. You have the mayor and town council in charge of the city. You have employees. We cannot have a vacuum where nobody can tell any worker anything. They're getting paid from rates and taxes.
Right.
So to my mind, somebody has to take control of the situation. And to my mind, necessity, the law of necessity will impose itself, and that law will allow the people who administrate the city, that is the mayor and town council, to take decisions. It means then, if you have a person working there who breaches the law, who is negligent, who is corrupt, and is not doing her duty, are you telling me that the mayor and town council cannot do anything about it and they can continue their merry way? So I am saying to you, there's something terribly wrong, in my opinion, with the decision of Chief Justice. He might have had his reasons, but I'm saying I am not in agreement to those reasons, and I feel at least this is a rule. Necessity allows the town council to take charge of the city.
Thank you
Okay, we're
very
going
much.
to speak to some other peaceful protesters out here, and who will be the next person who will be presenting?
Tenga.
Yes. Sister Penda?
Yes, sorry. Good day again. Yes, I'm out here and I'm supporting the mayor and city council because I think it's a ridiculous situation where we have a situation where they are not able to function in the capacity. I'm sorry you didn't take my placard that says that we need local government commission to be elected now, because without these things in place we're going nowhere. So I am in support of all that is going on out here today, and we will continue to be here until we get the answers that we're looking for.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to say a word before we depart?
It's an absurdity.
All right, sir.
Mr. Mayor, would you close off the program? Close off? Would you give us a closing statement?
Well, my closing statement is that I believe that only in Guyana could this madness be taking place. And it appears to me that the government is in a comfort zone of having a lady who is a strange being, and I don't want to describe her more precisely, running the city. When she's not even qualified, that is the background. I mean, it's unbelievable. Ludicrous. Thank you.
We will have the word from a vendor, and who going to give her take on this matter? Please go ahead.
As a vendor, I think Ms. Sue was supposed to leave City Hall immediately because she's not doing nothing for the country and the town in whole, the city in whole. She's not doing anything. And I feel she needs to go because just now something going to break out in this country. The garbage is so high. We might get we got chikungunya, we might get Ebola now because the garbage is so high and she's not doing nothing. She's so powerful and the government encouraging her with her nonsense. That is all I have to say.
So tell me about this protest in front of the acting Chief Justice Ian Chan office, right above us here. Will this continue or this is just for today only?
No, it will continue.
It will continue.
We will have other means of speaking to the public.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay.
All right. So